From Angelina Jolie to Paulo Gil, it is quite clear that there may be possibly many historical people that have sold their soul to the devil. Here are your top 10 real people in history who made a deal with the devil, part 2. In our number 10 spot, we have Angelina Jolie. Okay, I know you're thinking, what? The beautiful looking angel that is Angelina Jolie sold her soul to Mr. Satan himself? Probably. Apparently in 2016, a secret tape of Angelina surfaced on YouTube. And on this tape, it was a young 23-year-old Angelina in 1999 where she is being secretly recorded in a private convo with some of her friends. Allegedly, Jolie is found telling her friends about some kind of celebrity initiation that is often misunderstood as a form of sadism and masochism combined. Then apparently Angelina talks about her experience and how during the ritual, the initiated people are tied up and tortured, and well, just Google it because it's not very PG, but supremely sadistic and masochistic if you ask me. She then goes on to talk about how she got a tattoo after the ritual and how she had to kill a snake as a sacrifice. So yeah, sounds like she quite frankly made a deal with the devil. In our number 9 spot, we have Katy Perry. Yikes, I hate putting her in this list, but I have to acknowledge something that she did say that does make people suspicious of her. It has long been rumored that celebrities sign contracts with the devil in order to establish themselves in Hollywood, and so it may not surprise you to hear of Katy Perry saying that she sold her soul to the devil. Yes, one could argue it is an expression, but that expression came from somewhere, and her words came from somewhere. Either she believes that she makes music that she doesn't really love because someone is telling her to, which sounds like low vibes to me, or she literally sold her soul to the devil himself. When asked about her first album, which was a gospel album, Katy is quoted as saying, "Yeah, I released a gospel record when I was 15 because I grew up in a household where all I ever did was sing the gospel music, and my parents are both traveling ministers. And so I kinda sang about what was going on in my life at 15. And that's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, but it didn't work out, and so I sold myself to the devil." Coming up in our number 8 spot, we have Michael Scott. No, not Michael Scott from The Office. That great, beautiful angel would never sell his soul to the devil. This is Michael Scott from the year 1175. Yes, a very, very long time ago. Michael studied at Oxford and traveled around England until he planted his roots in Sicily and became the court astrologer to Frederick II. People always speculated that he might be in cahoots with Lucifer, as he was quite vocal about how against the black arts he was. The people believed that to be a distraction from the fact that he actually participated in it. He also wrote a lot of text on necromancy and black magic under the guise of science. So that didn't help his cause. There was all kinds of rumors about him, including one where he supposedly conned the devil into helping him make a railroad. He apparently had demon familiars that would fetch him the finest international delicacies, and that he traveled by way of a demon sea creature. He was known to having many ritual sites, and so the people have concluded that he was BFFs with the devil. In our number 7 spot, we have Christoph Heinzmann. Christoph Heinzmann is a painter from the 17th century. Apparently in 1677, Christoph was found in such a state that it was believed that he had been tortured by a witch's curse. When questioned by the authorities, Heinzmann admitted that his state was his own fault, as he had signed a pact with the devil 9 years earlier as a way out of the cycle of poverty and depression that he was in. Apparently he had a few exorcisms done to him, and during one of the times, a dragon with a contract had appeared in front of him, and Heinzmann was able to rip up the contract. Apparently after that, his symptoms seemed to disappear for a while, but then eventually came back. Apparently in his diary entries, he revealed that the devil appeared to him frequently, and he was always trying to tempt him. We now know that if he were alive today, a more contemporary diagnosis would be that he had schizophrenia. But honestly, it's also very possible that he was just inhabited by demons to do the devil's work. In our number 6 spot, we have Oliver Cromwell. Known for being an English general, this is a name that is very known as he has been widely depicted as a person with devil's horns. Oliver was being marketed as someone who made a pact with the devil, and that is what explained his rise to power and success. Naturally. When he passed in 1658, there was a massive storm with such crazy winds that the people said that it was the devil coming to claim his soul. The winds were so strong that they were named Oliver's Wind. Eventually, his name became a part of a tale that people told children to get them to behave. Be good or the ghost of Cromwell will drag you to hell. In our number 5 spot today, we have Roger Bolingbroke. In the 1400s, Roger Bolingbroke was accused of casting a horoscope that predicted the death of King Henry. Roger admitted to the public that he had been dealing with the devil and was being encouraged by the Duke of Gloucester's wife Eleanor, aka the 1400s version of a clout chaser. Apparently, she urged Roger to perform black magic for her to help her social standing and help her rise to the top. Did I say clout chaser? I meant a historical queen. In any case, Roger confessed, so we're pretty positive he made a deal with the devil. But it didn't save him, as he was eventually hung for his crimes. In our number 4 spot, we have Paulo Gil. Some very old journals in Brazil were discovered talking about a man named Paulo Gil, who was a sorcerer who apparently sold his soul to the devil for his magical powers. The author of the diaries that went by the name Batista spoke about how Gil set his sights on a slave, and the slave owner needed to have an exorcism following the interactions with him. He wrote that Gil and him were at a crossroads when 7 shadowy figures accompanied them. Batista apparently fled, and that made Gil very angry. He wrote about how Gil then cursed the town because Batista wouldn't do what he had asked, and it caused a crazy storm to come to the town. The storm apparently only stopped when Batista prayed to Saint Anne and after he denied giving his blood to Gil. In our number 3 spot, we have Katharina Kepler. This is a woman that is widely known for being a possible sorceress and also known for most likely making a deal with the devil. She is another historical person who is depicted as having devil horns. She is the mother of a very famous astrologer by the name of Johann Kepler. Apparently, her friend accused her of poisoning her, most likely just gave her some wine, and Katharina was put in front of the courts for questioning. On this occasion, she was let off from lack of evidence. Later, she was then accused 49 times of dealing with the devil. She also was said to have killed livestock and people by reciting incantations over them, but after many trials, she actually was given her freedom, only for her to actually pass away 6 months later. In our number 2 spot, we have Saint Basil and the slave. Saint Basil was born in the year 329 AD. He was born into quite a Christian household. He apparently wrote a large body of work that is quite treasured today. However, it's quite possible that he came in contact with the devil at least on one account and had met someone who sold their soul to the devil. It was said that he was apparently approached by a woman whose husband sold her soul to the devil and was now his slave. Apparently, this man had made a contract with the devil to marry the woman he loved. The devil followed through and he did marry her, but then the man became a slave to the devil. Saint Basil prayed for this man and the contract was delivered by the wind, and Saint Basil was able to tear it up and release the man. So the man got what he wanted, got to marry his love, and got to be freed of the devil. In our number 1 spot, we have Lady Gaga, another Hollywood insider who has ties with the devil. Allegedly, Lady Gaga has been quoted as saying, "I deeply regret selling my soul to the dark forces of the Illuminati organization." Okay, so when I hear that, I think, this girl is just memeing us. But apparently in her documentary entitled Gaga 5'2", Gaga speaks about how she was inducted into the Illuminati and how she sold her soul to the devil. She's quoted as saying, "I had just been on stage. It was a good show. I was high on the love and applause from the crowd. I was outside lighting a cigarette. I was aching for more and more of everything. I just wanted to feel good, feel anything. Then this man, a strangely ageless man in a suit, spoke to me. He was leaning against the wall smoking, and he said to me, 'I think you've got what it takes. Do you want it?' I asked what it was. I thought he was coming on to me, but he smiled and said, 'Everything. Success, fame, riches, power. Do you want it all?' I looked at him curiously. I couldn't work it out. Then he just stood there and sang one of the songs from my routine earlier. It was otherworldly. I stared at him like he was a dark jewel drenched up from the deepest ocean. I got down on my knees and asked him who I should praise. I looked him right in the eye and told him I wanted it all. I told him I'd do anything. And I bet you anything is what she did."